So, handshakes, which, you want a proper, firm handshake, a good grip, a clasp. Some people look at it as disrespectful if you just barely grab their hand, and they'll look at you kind of like a punk. I know that my friend's dad, may he rest in peace, he was a good man, like one of the first survivors of pancreatic cancer. He went flying around the world and got paid a lot of money just to be a motivational speaker for pancreatic cancer, and he helped a lot of people through their very, very hard times. But, he wouldn't take, spirulina and natural things, like, everybody needs to do. But, so he was very big on a strong handshake. But now, see, there is mantras, mudras, that, some of the world, the universe is waiting for me to complete, like, certain levels, and level ups. But a lot of it has to do with my stretch more, dance more, and my hand alignment and movements to add up to, secret handshakes that are secret societies use around the world, and they don't really know completely what the purpose is for or what the complete meaning is. But a lot of it, my angels say, come from the enlightened people back then foreseeing me. I don't quite understand it all completely, but I share what I can. But anyway, and they also told me to be careful who I touch as this time's coming, furthering in my awakening, which I have a 7-year awakening, and I'm going to awaken all of humanity in that process. So we got 2 years left. But anyway, and what they said, when it's getting down to the time, I will notice how people change around me. And, but you got to think of the movie Limitless. Like, when the guy takes the pill, he, gets very smart and very productive and does good. But then when the, thug, the, let's say, Russian mobster, whatever the dude was in the movie, when he took, the thing, it made him a smarter criminal. It made him a better bad guy. Better at being a bad guy, not a better person. But, and my angels told me that I would notice that happen and realize that I was in the wrong place, and being around not good people is not a good thing to activate their higher self and spark their soul. So I got to try to start off with awakening better people first, which, I sharing prayers and blessings everywhere, and all my posts, prayers and blessings to all that feel me. I've got tens of thousands of posts and pretty much millions of words texted helping people and trying to raise conscious awareness, which I know I have personally elevated universal conscious 50 to 80 years, pretty much when I was 13, getting Steve Jobs on the phone. But anyway, so this next 2 years of awakening everybody, which will happen very fast, within weeks, as soon as one of my posts hits the news and goes viral, then the whole world changes real fast. But let's see, which one was this one? I've got a list of things that I need to. Handshakes. So touching people, in places like with people in suits and in business attire, and I shook a guy's hand, and years ago, and he changed into a complete different person, which I've seen this happen multiple ways. But this one is like, whatever I did was whatever his society or group, So he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna go far. We need to talk. I got some investment options for you. And I was like, okay, how'd that happen? But and that was just a simple little handshake and introduction, looking square in the eye and giving respect, and then it just completely changed the dynamics of the situation, just shaking his hand the right way, which, I've been around people on the streets, and I've pretty much, been taught every gang shake-up there is in Chicagoland, and that's what, your hand just goes naturally into different movements when people move different ways, and something from that triggered something in that, and it makes you wonder. But otherwise, just by being around some people at a public office in Chicago, which I knew of them to be, criminals, aspect of type of people, but one guy, just within talking to me for a couple minutes, his whole demeanor, his whole voice, his whole thing changed, and I could see that his higher self was activated, and that just by being around me and talking to me for a few minutes, and he goes to talking, about drugs and hurting people, to spiritually wanting to be a spiritual warrior and killing people, but he's saying the Christians are the bad guys, and that I'm a bad guy for being a Christian. And Jesus de Cristo San Miguel, ese vatos locos forever, Holmes. But anyway, but I saw him change in a matter of minutes talking to him, and know that his higher self was activated, and that made me realize and relate to the scene that I just told you in that movie Limitless, which is a very good movie. And I saw it and I felt it, because we don't need a little pill to reach superpowers. All you got to do is breathing exercises, breath work, meditate to pray within, search to learn, love for self to love all. Stop and think to appreciate all the finest details. Shane Michael, Rogue One. Yarr.